Morning. Welcome to the next step of our budget challenge planning. Today we are going to be working on creating our budget and making a plan for how you're going to achieve each of those trophies that you learned about yesterday. The trophies go into effect and they will make a difference on your final grade for the class. Plus, the class that has the highest point average for everybody in the class, the average class total, will have a reward at the end, as long as everybody in that class has a positive score. So we are going to take, and this is a class project or a class motivation where you keep each other in check for your budget. So you can use each other as support, like you could use your roommates as support whenever you're trying to figure out and start on your own. They will help you remember to pay your rent and things like that, hopefully. And so we are going to take and go through changing from our calendar, where we recorded when everything needs to be due, to moving it into our budget challenge. It's based on every 2 weeks getting paid. And so I need to figure out what I need to pay each time. Up at the top part is anything that comes into your account, so any deposits. Do not change the spots that have numbers already filled in. Those are automatically calculating. If you accidentally do change something there, let me know and I can fix it. So you'll record deposits in this top part. And then down here is where you'll put anything that you pay. So only record what you plan on paying during that time period. So look at the top, you'll see they're broken down into the weeks. And it'll start by getting your paycheck the next time. So we need to figure out how much we're going to get paid in our paychecks. And to do that, you go to Student Home, go to Vendor Selections, and then you will go down till you see on your job, you're going to go down until you find the net pay. That's how much you're going to get paid. And so for me, I'm getting $14.85.81. And that's because I chose the 8%. I chose the 8% because these two numbers are going to be big when we add them together, is greater than the $250 that we need to be able to make that $1,000 by the fourth paycheck. And so there's other ways to do it. You could do 7% for several times, and this is the one thing you can change as the game goes on. And so we are going to reassess at a certain point and talk about, did you choose the right amount, or do you need to make up some room and may need to up it at a certain point? And that's fine. So if you need to change it to where you don't have the same net pay all the way through, just remember you can change your contribution percent. Just don't go below 5% because you're losing some of your free money. Because remember, they're matching $102, almost $103 I'm getting from the employer to go into my retirement account each time. So $14.85.81 is the number I write here. And once I do that, you'll see that my ending balance increased because that deposited. And then it's going to carry over as it goes through. And then I'm going to record that same number on each of these. Okay, so I've recorded $14.85.81 all the way through for all my paychecks. And so for me, how much money I'm going to have in through this whole game is I'm roughly going to get $9,200. Now I got to figure out how to allocate that money. And so I think back on the challenges, and I noticed that staying on top of my credit card is one. And I get rewards if my credit card stays under a certain percentage utilization. So I make a plan to put a credit card payment on each paycheck. Every time I get paid, I make a credit card payment. And so I chose red to represent my credit card, and I keep that same idea over in here. You don't have to. I find it to where I like having the colors in my chart because it helps me see if I have everything recorded. And the game said that between $600 and $900 is how much they're going to charge each month. So if I know that, then I'm paying it every 2 weeks. If I do either 400 or 450, I should cover my credit card over that time period. So I'm going to start with just planning to do 400 every 2 weeks. And if I need to, that's something I can reassess as the game goes on or as I find out if I need more money or if I spent more money or not. And so this is something that could change. And because as long as I pay $15 each time it's due, it's good. I'm covering that each time I'm doing this. Now, big thing to note, this is a number that doesn't have to be locked in. This can fluctuate. So if there's a time period where my budget's not going to work because of this number being too big, then I can move that down if I need to. So the next thing I have is I remember that I'm going to get reward points if I fund my savings account. Every day my savings account is over 750, I get 5 bonus points. So I'm going to fund my savings account with the amount of 750 and see if I can do that. Okay. So I still have $600.12 in my first pay period. So let me look back at my budget challenge chart. And so in that time frame from the start of the game to my first pay period, I have several things that are going to come out. I have my renter's insurance, my rent, and my cell phone. Well, I can't cover my rent at this point, but I can cover the other two. So I am going to go ahead and record my renter's insurance and my cell phone. So I've come back over to my chart and renter's insurance. And it's okay if you abbreviate as long as you know what the meaning of that number means. And so my renter's insurance was $250 because I chose the cash value plan. And my cell phone was, oops, that's not the color I wanted, was $65 because I chose the lower plan. I still have some money left over, that's fine. That's going to come over until the next month. So it'll help me with the next month or after my next pay period. So in this period, some point, and it's usually towards the end, I'm going to get that security deposit. And on average, I see most of the years we get between $250 and $300 returned to us as a security deposit. Do not record anything here yet. So now we're going to go to our vendors, go to our calendar and look and see what do I need to take care of. Well, I still haven't paid my rent, so that's my first priority. So I'm going to go ahead and get rent covered. And I chose blue for my color, so I'm changing my text to blue and rent. Well, that's not a good color. Okay. And so remember on that first time period, my rent is going to be a little bit more than it normally is. And so depending on which apartment you chose, it's either 1,150 or $1,000. I think it's 1,100 for the other one. So depending on what you have, and you notice that's already bringing me down pretty close to the bottom of this. So I need to go over to my to my calendar, and look, I'm taking care of this. And this is where having your calendar in front of you, you can check off what you've covered. I know, oops, my bank fees got moved to the wrong spot. I know I have bank fees coming out on the 11th, so I need to come down here on my calendar and record that I have, and your number is going to fluctuate depending on which bank you chose, but I have $3 in bank fees. I have that bank fee part on every single one because in case you overdraft your account or other bank fees may come up based upon your usage, you can record them as you go through because this is a living document. Anytime you have a budget, it's always a living document because if life events happen, you may have to go in there and adjust. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my budget challenge calendar and look and see. So I have covered my rent. I've covered my renter's insurance. I've covered my credit card. I've covered my bank fees and my cell phone. Other things that come out is I have my auto loan at $369.44 and it's due by the 17th. And so I need to cover that. So $369.44. I go over to my chart and for my auto loan I chose pink as my color. Oh, I have a problem. I'm short. So that means I can't put in my credit card that full payment yet. I might be able to after my security deposit comes back, but I can't right now. So I need to lower that. And so I'm going to lower that to $250. Now I have an ending balance. I can't pay anything more in this pay period without having to lower my credit card bill. So I need to go back and look at my budget challenge. Is there anything else due before my next payday? And the answer is no. So I'm going to take care of cable and my student loan after the 20th. Okay. So now I go back over to my chart and I'm going to go over to the 20th. And those two can be paid for out of this period because they're not due until after the 20th. And so I'm going to, again, I like to keep my things consistent. So I'm going to take and make, this is my cable, which was $49.50. And so cable was $49.50. And then I'm going to go in here and go, okay, what else did I need to pay? I needed to pay my student loan. So I go back over to vendor selections, or I go over to my chart, and my student loan was $265.78. And I changed that up. Okay. I still have $781.67 left. So I keep going and paying all my bills that I need to. And remember, I'm trying to get everything covered that's due after the 20th. So I noticed that my cable was due, my student loan was due, my utilities are coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and plan for my utilities. If you chose the budget one, where it has an average of $95, it's going to be $95 each time. But if you chose the one that fluctuates, you might plan for a little extra because sometimes it's going to be a little bit more and sometimes it's going to be a little bit less. And you can call that gas and electric or utilities, because I think in the game it fluctuates between the two names. Okay, so now let's look and see. I have 600 and roughly $90 left. My student loans been taken care of. My utilities and my cable have been taken care of. Let's look and see, is there anything else that's going to need to come taken care of before my next payday? Well, my rent's the next thing that comes out, and it's $600. And so I'm going to take and plan to pay my rent. And so I come in here, change the color, and rent of $600. And now at $86.67, I go up to my vendors, or go over to my chart. Is there anything else that comes out before my next payday? And my cell phone does. So I'm going to go ahead and come over and plan to pay my cell phone. And the other thing I could do, if I don't want to pay my cell phone there, I can go ahead and make this greater. Or I can make a plan that I'm going to pay more towards my credit card with whatever comes in from the security deposit. Those are options you have. And so, because I know that we are short $150 on our credit card for where our plan was. And so it's your choice, whichever way you want to make it up. But you're going to continue to go through your charts until you've made a plan all the way through the end of the challenge, which is in May 7th. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take and go, okay, on the paper, on the Google Doc that I provided for you, you're going to tell me what things might you do along the way to help you achieve each of those trophies. What strategies? Maybe I'm going to, so that I can pay my bills in time, I'm going to put reminders on my phone. What things are you going to do that are going to make it possible for you to achieve each trophy? And it may be things that y'all are going to do together as a class, like, hey, we're going to remind each other that this bill is due and make sure everybody pays it. Because remember, there is rewards for the class that has the best performance. So come up with a strategy, plan it, write it on your plan, and finish out your budget challenge. Have a great day, and let me know if you have questions. I will be available for you to reach out to. Thank you.